Hi, my name is Annie, and welcome to the Walking Word, where we go through the Holy Bible in a year as part of discipling. We are currently in the book of Ruth, and we're in the book of Ruth, chapter 2, where Naomi meets Boaz. The book of Ruth is a very short book. You'll finish it in less than 30 minutes, and it's a very beautiful book about a woman who uh, pursues God, and it's a book of foreshadowing of Christ and his bride. So let's see this. Naomi had a prominent kinsman. So Boaz is a man of influence in the community. Naomi had a prominent kinsman named Boaz of the clan of her husband, Elimelech. Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go and glean ears of grain. Uh-huh. In the field of anyone who will allow me the favor." Okay, so let me go look for a job. Let me go see if we can find a way to survive, me and you. Okay, two widows just thinking of how to make ends meet. Let me go and glean ears of grain in the field of anyone who will allow me who will allow me that favor. Naomi said to her, "Go, my daughter." And she went. The field she entered to glean after the harvesters happened to be the section belonging to Boaz of the clan of Elimelech. Boaz himself came from Bethlehem and said to the harvesters, "The Lord be with you." And they replied, "The Lord bless you." Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, "Whose girl is this?" The overseer of the harvesters answered, "She is the Moabite girl who returned from the plateau of Moab with Naomi." So we can tell Ruth um, she wasn't elderly in age. They're referring to her as a girl. She's a young bride. She's died before even her and her husband had children. She is the Moabite girl who returned from the plateau of Moab with Naomi. She asked leave to gather the gleanings into sheaves after the harvesters, and ever since she came this morning, she has remained here until now, with scarcely a moment's rest. So she's a hardworking woman. She's busy. She's getting the job done based on her supervisor's instructions, but she's like zero rest. She's hardworking. Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, do not go to glean in anyone else's field. You are not to live here. Stay here with my women servants. Watch to see which field is to be harvested and follow them. I have commanded the young men to do you no harm." Okay, so that's another thing. Is Boaz is watching out for her. She's single, she's a widow, she's frail, she's still probably in the season of mourning her husband, and she's working amongst men and women, and people can easily take advantage of her. So he's stepping in, to the young men and telling them that girl is out of bounds. Okay, and this is what Christ does with us, and I love this scripture that says, I bear the marks of Christ, therefore no one should disturb me. No one should come at me. I bear the marks of Christ. So this is what Boaz is doing for Ruth. "I have commanded the young men to do you no harm. When you are thirsty, you may go and drink from the vessels the young men have filled." Yeah, you don't go suffering, going to look for water, I don't know where. Just the ones the men have already picked up, you go drink from there. Casting herself prostrate upon the ground, she said to him, "Why should I, a foreigner, be favored with your notice?" Because remember, she's a Moab. The Israelites were not mixing at this time. Remember, they were not allowed to mix with foreigners, right? Boaz answered her, "I have had a complete account of what you have done for your mother-in-law after your husband's death, which is loyalty, choosing her God over her people, choosing to follow her mother-in-law in a land she doesn't know anything about. You have left your father and your mother and the land of your birth, and have come to a people whom you did not know previously. May the Lord reward you what you have done. May you receive a full reward from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge." Aha. under whose wings you have come for refuge. She said, May I prove worthy of your kindness, my Lord. You have comforted me, your servant, with your consoling words. Would indeed that I were a servant of yours. At mealtime, Boaz said to her, Come here and have some food. Dip your bread in the sauce. Foreigner, now going to the table of the most influential man in that space, their boss, and the boss has invited this foreigner, this nobody, to come dine at the table with him. Ha! At mealtime, Boaz said to her, Come here and have some food. Dip your bread in the sauce. Then, as she sat near the reapers, he handed her some roasted grain, and she ate her fill and had some left over. She rose to glean, and Boaz instructed his servants to let her glean among the sheaves themselves without scolding her, and even to let drop some handfuls and leave them for her to glean without being rebuked. Oh my goodness. And this is Christ, always inviting us at his table and ensuring that the angels and all creation is working towards helping us, man, be closer to him. Okay, she gleaned without being rebuked. Remember also, without being rebuked. Remember, angels really wonder. They really wonder about us. That's why they're always like, God, what is man? This thing that is just mere dust and mist, that you're so mindful of him. Boaz is doing the same thing with Ruth that Christ does with us. So mindful of this foreigner, this nothing in our community, a widow, people who are often treated with discontempt, are taken advantage of, and things like that. Why are you taking so much liking to this person? Yeah. And also, angels get angry at us. Read the story of Zechariah. And other instances where angels they also carry emotions, right? She gleaned in the field until evening, and when verse 17, she gleaned in the field until evening, and when she beat out what she had gleaned, it came to about an ephah of barley, which she took into the city and showed it to her mother-in-law. Next, she brought out and gave her what she had left over from lunch. So her mother-in-law said to her, Where did you glean today? Where did you go to work? May he who took notice of you be blessed. Then she told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked. The man at whose place I worked today, his name is Boaz, she said. May he be blessed by the Lord, who is ever merciful to the living and to the dead. Naomi exclaimed to her daughter-in-law, and she continued, He is a relative of ours, one of our next of kin. So next of kin, next of kin, the meaning of next of kin actually means our redeemer. Yeah, so that's why when even next of kin, even sometimes when you're filling in forms and you see next of kin, write your next of kin in hospital or for your insurance or for your in your bank, with whatever, in government papers. Next of kin is just who would be next in line should we need should anything happen to you, who would be next in line? Yeah. He even told me, added Ruth the Moabite, that I should stay with his servants until they complete his entire harvest. You would do well, my dear, Naomi rejoined, to go out with his servants, for in someone else's field you might be insulted. Okay, so she stayed gleaning with the servants of Boaz until the end of the barley and wheat harvests. We move to chapter 3, where Ruth again presents herself to Boaz.